I mean, there's a lot of Batman news right now in the sphere of media right now,
Yes.
because of the Penguin show, which we're not talking about it. I
What do
haven't
you
seen it.
mean?
We haven't seen it, but I'm not talking about that. I haven't seen it.
But people
Okay.
who have seen it like it so much. So why can't we talk about it? I've been watching it.
I mean, we're talking about Batman in general.
Okay.
It maybe not the show specifically though, but just some news. So can you pull up the article? Yeah, this one probably first. So with the last Batman movie, we got a little sneak peek with the Joker,
Mm-hmm.
but there's some rumors here. So scroll down to, um,
Is it this one?
no, it was scroll down one more. Yeah, the
Okay.
first one there.
According to a report from Derek, blah, 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 the Joker isn't in the Batman Part 2. Okay, so this is the big thing. Let's just throw this out there. If you're
Yeah.
not watching The Penguin is a really good show about Oz. And it's extremely good. It's I think better than the Batman movie where, Robert Pattinson played the Batman.
Yeah.
However, Batman Part 2 is going to be coming out, I think, in 2026. All right. So this is a show that picks up right at the end of the Batman. Once they caught, the Riddler, he's in jail,
Mhm.
and they have to rebuild the city. The city just flooded. So this is now the Penguin rising in the crime world in Gotham, and it's going to bridge the first movie, the Batman, and Batman Part 2. It is literally a show to bridge those two movies together. All right.
Yeah.
And then, so what they're saying is the Joker isn't in the Batman Part 2, which is surprising because it feels like, well, they teased him in the first one. What's going to happen?
Oh yeah.
All right. But apparently will instead be the main villain in the Batman Part 3. So the question is,
Okay.
if
Yeah.
so far they're on a good track, if 2 is as good or a little bit better than the first one, then we're on track to being able to get a third as long as Matt Reeves is still into it. And for my sake, as long as Greg Fraser still wants to shoot the dang thing, because I don't want a different cinematographer shooting this movie.
Nah.
He's going to be shooting Batman Part 2. I really hope he shoots Batman Part 3 as well. So this is the first I've heard that they're actually talking about going all the way for 3 movies.
2 and 3, yeah. Do you think this is off a little bit, but do you think the reason why they want to do 3 films and why they hold Batman in such high regard is only because of Christopher Nolan?
No, I think they show Chris Nolan as the concept that worked. And as long as you can turn the key the right way for Batman, it's the same thing for Spider-Man, okay?
Mhm.
If you can turn Batman and Spider-Man are the DC and Marvel top dogs, all right? They
Yeah.
just are. When it comes to graphic art, when it comes to movies, animated shows, when it comes to anything, the ticket to get people to go, like Batman and Spider-Man is everyone's favorite
Oh, yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah.
So if you can get Batman just right, or at least good enough for people to accept it for what it is, like Chris Nolan did, then you're playing with fire. It's the same thing with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It's the same thing with Tom Holland on some level, right? With his Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
The DC Justice League with Ben Affleck, I don't think did a good job with that Batman. Now, some people say they like the way he looks, like bulk Batman. You know what I mean? As opposed to
He's
slim
very,
Batman.
very stocky compared to.
But this Batman, it's kind of going more towards the classic Batman games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Which
Arkham
is
City and whatnot.
and more comic book accurate. I think.
Yeah.
I definitely think this is way more accurate according to the comic book, which is the original concept for this story.
So basically, what I think is it's not that they hold Chris Nolan's Batman in such high regard. It's just that it was a proof of concept that if you do something interesting enough, people will show up to watch it. So what I think Matt Reeves is doing is he said, I've always had this idea of telling not only Batman, but the Batman villains from a new
Yeah.
perspective, as well as everyone forgets this. Not everyone forgets it. I don't know what I'm saying. People, normies forget this, but this is so important. It's Gotham. How is Gotham in your story? Is it a character of your story, right? The
Oh.
city as a whole is a character in itself. And so how are you going to present the character of Gotham is very important. And I think Matt Reeves is not quite hitting the height of Chris Nolan's yet, but with this the first movie paired with the Penguin so far is incredible. Like the Penguin
Let's
really
uh
ups it by a lot.
let's read the other article really quick and then we can talk about it more cuz I
Hold
want
on,
to
hold on, hold on. Let me finish this. So the Joker it will instead be the main villain. So we're gonna get a Joker villain in the
Mhm.
Batman Part 3 fighting Robert Pattinson. All right. The report claims that Keoghan uh, will first reappear in a spin-off series like The Penguin, but it's unclear if this will be a Joker series featuring the Batman villain. So apparently,
Yeah.
I guess there's going to be another
Which
hold on, let's
makes
see here.
sense. I mean, once one thing works, they always want to recreate it. So,
Colin Farrell has heard Penguin is in the next Batman, but he hasn't read the script. All right, listen. I was super skeptical and I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the Penguin. I'm so sorry, Colin, because once you watch the show, I don't care who's in the show. The Penguin is like my favorite, most interesting character ever, and I want him to be in everything.
yeah, but how many hours does it take to put on all that makeup?
It takes like at least 2 or 3, at least.
More like 8, probably.
Maybe.
More like 8.
Well, I've seen the time lapse of them putting it on. They found a rhythm they could do it quickly. I think. Um, let's see. So part of the reason Colin Farrell wanted to pursue a television series about Oscobb, aka the Penguin, is because the character kind of was a little bit of a comic relief in the Batman. The actor explains in a new interview with SiriusXM, he was a bit of a red herring to maybe take the investigation to the left when it was supposed to be heading to the right. But I just clearly felt I think we were just a month into the shoot when I said to Dalen Clark, come on, can we do a TV show or something else with this? Because it's just too good. And he's right. If he's being
Mhm.
truthful, and it was kind of all on Colin to like champion the idea of doing a television series about his character, he
Yeah.
was absolutely right. I feel like there was other people that were interested. I don't think Matt Reeves was completely out of the possibility. But this is a brilliant strategy to bridge his Batman movies with villains, like one
Well,
season
okay,
villain
but
shows.
so it says he's in the next Batman, but that doesn't
Right.
mean that he is the bad guy of
It doesn't matter.
the next movie.
He just needs to be a foil to Batman's occasional plans in the same way that he's a foil to other villains' plans in the movies as well. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like could just play a role. It's similar to how he played a role in the Batman. Like he wasn't the
Which
villain. You know what I mean?
what happened to where do we start this? Where um I want to say it was probably Spider-Man. I don't know for sure if it was Spider-Man though. I feel like we had bad guy, good guy, superhero, fighting, defeating, the movie's over. Where now, and I want to say it started in like Spider-Man 3 maybe
Mm-hmm.
by Sony with Tobey Maguire, where we had, Sandman, we had Venom, we had um, uh, I can't think of any other villains, but there was quite a few villains in that movie. And
Mm-hmm.
where did this villain superhero get into place? Where there's so many bad guys, and it's like, oh, we kind of have an idea on who the next bad guy is for this because
Well, the thing is, I think it's valuable to do this because Gotham. The interesting thing about about Batman, it's literally Batman, Alfred, and Gordon versus a very corrupt city. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
That's kind of the Batman story.
yeah,
And
it's
so
kind of interesting. If they were expecting to make all these, 3 movies, shows, and all this, are they still excited? Are they still, glad they picked Robert Pattinson to be the Batman?
you think he's got, I think he's got longevity to be the Batman. And I
Mm,
think he'll just get better.
I mean, longevity. How many Twilight movies was he in?
4. He
Okay,
was in
well,
4.
he's got 4 films under his belt. He could be in.
Yeah, he could do it. He could do 4 Batmans. Come
Although,
on. Come
although,
on.
yeah, I mean, he does about as much acting in this as he does in the Twilight movies. Like, just kind of be moody and
So
yeah,
here's another
Gordon.
thing.
You know, I'm Batman.
Going back to the article about the Joker, right?
Mhm.
I don't think that it would be wise in any circumstance to try to make a series about the Joker at all.
Well,
The
I mean,
Joker, it needs to be,
there's so much Joker stuff out there because we romanticize the Joker character, like
yes.
the Joker movies that everybody hated that just came out. The Joker, the first Joker movie, Heath Ledger's Joker. We have
You talk about
one
the first Joker, you talking about
Walking
Tim Burton?
Phoenix. No, but
Okay.
then also, yeah, Tim Burton's. Um, there's so many Joker characters out there because we romanticize the Joker so much. But bad guys or characters like the Penguin fall short to the Joker because even though they're good characters, we only look at the Joker. And maybe that's because the Joker is, the main villain, the main arch nemesis to Batman,
Arch nemesis.
arch nemesis to the Batman.
Right.
It's not the character; it's the bad guy for Batman.
Yeah.
But maybe we need to look at some other bad guys.
Well, so you have the famous ones: Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Harley Quinn. Who am I missing? Two-Face. Who am I missing?
There's a lot in there. I'm
Let's
thinking of
see.
Spider-Man ones for some reason. I was about to say Doc Ock.
All
No,
right, so
there's a lot in there.
Clayface, Bane, right? Okay,
Poison
Catwoman,
Ivy.
Poison Ivy, yes.
Um. I can't think of any specifically, but I know there's a lot in there.
Deadshot, apparently.
Yeah,
That's
yep.
what it
Deadshot.
says.
Yeah.
So basically, they could take a bunch of different directions. But what I think needs to happen is Joker can't be the main character. He
Did you
can't
say
get his own
Scarecrow?
show. Scarecrow? Did I say Scarecrow? Yeah, I
No.
said Scarecrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Joker can't be the main character. He just can't. He's not meant to be. He's never meant to be. Right?
No, he is
Joker's
meant to be. I disagree with
no.
that statement.
No. Joker is not supposed to be a main character villain. He is the villain, but if you're going to present him correctly, you cannot be all up in his business trying to explain the Joker. No, that is the wrong move. You need to let him be a mysterious fellow that nobody understands or can put their
Yeah.
finger on and occasionally ends up in the asylum.
Okay.
That is
Really,
who the Joker is.
really quickly, who do you want to be the bad guy in Batman Part 2 then? If it's not, let's assume it's not the Penguin, Colin Farrell's Penguin, or the Joker. Who do we want? We want Scarecrow?
Scarecrow would be super interesting. But I am kind of interested in redeeming Bane.
Okay.
And I don't know how I
It,
feel about Catwoman, but I
it,
also would like to. Okay, here's the thing.
So in this universe, this is more grounded in what I feel like reality. It's dark, but it feels like it's grounded more reality of like not as much superhero ness, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. What I'm saying. Um, so a guy who hits a button and gets big, like it feels fake. So they would have to play Bane in a specific way, almost like Christopher Nolan's
Bane doesn't
Batman.
hit a button and go.
The original Bane does. The original Bane. You're thinking of Christopher Nolan's Batman, where he does not do that in Christopher Nolan's version, but the original Bane has a button where he goes and he
All
gets
right.
steroids and grows and blows up,
Well,
almost
he.
a Hulk-esque type
All
thing.
right. Here's another thing. I would like to see Harley Quinn redeemed and not be freaking Lady Gaga or, Margot Robbie. I would like to see Harley Quinn in a world like the Batman. All right. I would like to see an actual Harley Quinn that would work. Whereas, and it would motivate. Like imagine they imagine this. They do the Batman part 2 and then one day HBO drops a trailer and instead of it reading the Batman, like top to bottom screen, red letters, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And instead of it saying the Penguin, top to bottom, red letters,
Yeah.
it doesn't say the Joker, but rather it says Harley, right? Top to bottom, red letters. And we're going to get a show that is
Okay.
great, that's just running into
But
the background of Harley and then the corruption leading into, because we all kind of know how Harley became corrupted by the Joker in Arkham Asylum, which would
that's
make sense why he's in Arkham at the present moment, and
that's
he's going to be the
all
villain in the
good.
third movie.
That's all good, but we saw Birds of Prey,
Oh, come
and it's
on.
a terrible movie. I don't want to say Harley Quinn would be a terrible choice for that, but the track record with Birds of Prey was so bad. I mean, even I watched it recently. My wife had never seen it, and she's like, "I want to put on Birds of Prey and watch it." And so we watched it, and it's the worst movie ever. And I'm normally not the person to say it's a terrible movie. I'm the person who says the bad movies are good. But
I'm the
um,
dumbass who says bad movies are good.
hey, I didn't never said I was a dumbass, but I thought that was such a bad movie. And so I I don't know if I want to see Harley Quinn.
This is what I think. I think 2, possibly 3 seasons of shows around this Matt Reeves the Batman is powerful.
I don't
Mixed with
disagree with that.
3 movies.
I
I think
do not
6.
disagree with that.
Yeah, I think
That's
3
good.
shows, 3 movies, that is a strong mix, all
Okay,
right?
answer this question then, and then as we kind of close off this Batman topic. But do you think the reason why people love this Penguin show, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know, is
I could tell you.
because it doesn't feel superhero-esque. It feels more, you know, what's the right word? Uh, crime boss. Crime
Yes.
boss
Wait,
show. It's a crime
here's the
boss
thing.
show. It's not a superhero show.
All right. This is my very ground level take of it, all right?
Okay.
I really like sort of crime boss mafia movies. All right. I
Okay.
love and shows. I love Sopranos. I love Godfathers. I was watching Goodfellas. I know I've never been
Godfather.
on it. I've been
Yeah.
I've been watching Goodfellas. I'm almost done with it. I had to stop it
Wait.
the other day.
It's
I haven't.
okay. This is not a show here. This is one
I
movie.
know. I had to stop it, okay?
Okay,
But
we're only gonna give you a pass because you have a little 1-year-old kid.
yes, that's why I had to stop it. Now, I really like these movies, okay, and these shows. The Penguin is doing that, except you have the added element of Gotham, which is already familiar to us. The story of Gotham as a city and all the crime, we go into it expecting. It doesn't feel like New York, it's worse than New York. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And um and we already have that expectation. So it adds so much more interest when there are gangs and crime bosses and crime families and the Penguin who's rising in power
yeah,
through that amidst the chaos. When there is chaos in Gotham and in the crime families because of the chaos in Gotham,
yeah,
you have this slimy dude who's making his way up to the top one step at a time, you know?
yeah.
It's like Tony Soprano, but the thing is, there's an open door. Instead of having to be like, I don't really know, like, I like mafia movies, but I don't know these characters, okay? I don't know, I've never been to New York. I don't have any kind of deep knowledge about the New York or New Jersey mafia. And so it's just kind of like, it takes a while to figure out Sopranos. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
This is not that. It's much easier point of entry because it's Gotham. It is Tony Soprano rising up in Gotham. That is what the Penguin is. And it's freaking awesome, dude. It's so much easier to watch than The Sopranos. As good as Sopranos is, it's easier to watch than that. And it's more
Okay,
fun to watch than that, in my opinion. It's really good. It's so much better than
let's
even the Batman.
put it in the comments down below. What's a better show, Sopranos or The Penguin?
If you've seen both. And
If you've seen both,
if you say The Sopranos, that makes sense because there's so many seasons and so many episodes. You learn to love the story, and over the years, it's become nostalgic to you. But if you think about the first time you turned on Sopranos and was trying to get into the show, and then the first time you watched Penguin, which was just a few weeks ago, getting into the show, which one was more fun and more quick to do that? Penguin, by far.